A resident of the town of Myski in Russia's Kemerovo Oblast posted a video online showing rows of graves of Russian soldiers who went to fight in Ukraine and returned home in coffins. Crimean Wind channel wrote, "The Russian debunked the propaganda myth of no losses." The channel wrote, commenting on the video. It noted that while Russian state TV continues to claim there are no losses during the so-called special military operation and that everything is going according to plan, cemeteries across Russia keep rapidly expanding. Walking among the graves, the man behind the camera could not hide his shock at the number of fresh burials and the birth dates on the plaques. "Look what's going on here," he said, showing rows of soldiers' graves. Noticing one marker, he exclaimed, "Vladimir Popov, my peer, born in 1980. Other graves bore the names of men born in 1993, 1994, and even 2005. Pointing to the expanse of the cemetery, the man clarified that it is located in a town of just 40,000 people. "And this isn't the only cemetery," he added. The Myski resident also voiced his belief that the real death toll among Russian soldiers killed in Ukraine will be enormous. "Look, there are more flags down there too. In general, there are so many," he concluded. "The number of dead guys will be staggering. When we finally learn the truth about their numbers, the whole country will be horrified." Ukraine's defense forces have eliminated more than 300,000 Russian troops in 2025. Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky reported recently, Ukraine's defense forces are destroying the enemy. Since the start of the year, more than 305,000 invaders have been neutralized, he wrote. In addition, Syrsky said Ukrainian troops have inflicted significant losses on Russian equipment. Nearly 30,000 enemy vehicles have been destroyed, which severely undermines Russia's ability to supply and maneuver its forces, the general noted. Recall, Kremlin has begun distributing an updated instruction manual to military units engaged in its war in Ukraine on the preparation and maintenance of mass graves. The 20-page textbook titled Civil Defense, Urgent Burials of Corpses in Wartime was produced by Russia's Ministry of Emergency Services and is an updated version of one issued a few months prior to the February 2022 full-scale invasion. The earlier version was said to be intended for dealing with large-scale fatalities following an attack on Russia. The booklet is filled with detailed instructions and diagrams detailing the size of mass graves, the construction of the pits, tables showing lists of equipment and the manpower needed to construct a 100-person burial. It provides details of how many body bags should be laid at each level, with each layer being covered with earth before the next layer is positioned, and how much earth should be used to close the grave. It also specifies the use of chimneys to allow the gases of decomposing bodies to be released to avoid a possible buildup of explosive fumes. Russian troops attacked in the Sumy and Kursk regions, including in the Yunakovka area. A Russian military correspondent said that Ukrainian troops counterattacked in the Andreevka area. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War have voiced the situation in the Sumy region. A Russian military correspondent, allegedly linked to the northern group of forces, said that the Russian military command has reinforced and replenished units of the 2nd and 3rd battalions of the 30th Motorized Rifle Regiment by arming soldiers suffering from alcoholism, over 50 years old, who had previously left their units without permission or violated military discipline. These reservists will replace the 1st Battalion of the 30th Motorized Rifle Regiment in the area of Vladimirovka and Alexeyevka. Units of the 76th and 106th Airborne Divisions of Russia are reported to be operating in the Yunakovka area. Units of the 83rd Airborne Brigade and the 137th Airborne Regiment are also operating in Sumy Oblast. Units of the 91st Engineer Regiment are operating in Sudza district of Kursk Oblast. Alcoholism is also believed to be pervasive among Russian elites. Independent Russian news outlet Verstka reported in June 2023 that Russian officials, politicians and business people were drinking more alcohol to deal with stress. Politicians and members of the elite have become more drunk since the war in Ukraine began, the publication reported, citing people close to the Kremlin, parliament and regional authorities. Governors are slipping meetings and using illegal substances, one source said. Meetings are being disrupted and people are getting drunk at events. Russia has been labeled an alcoholic empire, and despite Vladimir Putin abstaining from drinking, the influence of vodka politics remains prevalent. Drinking in the military has been a common practice dating back to pre-modern times, as alcohol was believed to provide soldiers with liquid courage. Thus, rations of beverages were commonly issued to the troops. Russian forces in particular were traditionally dispensed a charka of vodka since the late 18th century. However, when abused, alcohol undermines discipline and fighting power, with service members becoming more interested in the bottle than in the battle. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 revealed a severe problem of drunkenness among the ranks, promoting authorities to impose bans on alcohol sales in some occupied territories. However, these measures proved insufficient to curb the issue.